with CityChick, and I am here today to talk to you about raising baby chicks. I'm really excited because I just got in 30 baby chicks from my mail order hatchery. I want to share with you a little bit about my best practices on what I do to raise some happy, healthy baby chicks. I'll also cover some of the mistakes that I've made over the years, so that way you don't repeat them. The first thing I want you to remember, and this is probably the most important thing out of all my tips, is if you have a heat lamp, this is what I want you to do with it. Just take this heat lamp, make sure you got the cable around it, and just, heat lamps are dangerous. When I had my very first pull-up playpen built, I had this set up. I had my heat lamp set on a ladder, zip tied around, and then the bulb fell out of the heat lamp in kind of a final destination moment, went down here, and as you can see, it's got a really bad burn. Well, I happened to walk out as that thing was smoldering. If I had been just a couple minutes later, I would have burned down this entire thing, killing all of my chicks, burning down the garage. So please, whatever you do, make sure you don't use a heat lamp. I'm going to talk a little bit about radiant heat, and I'll do another video about those, but just please, please, please throw away your heat lamp. The second tip I have for you about raising baby chicks is be prepared. I know what it's like going into a Tractor Supply. I know what it's like going to the feed store. You hear that sound of the baby chicks and you hear them peeping, you pick up some and come home. You really need to think about these things ahead of time. Make sure that you're prepared before you bring the chicks home. It's so much easier. And what I always do is I always make sure that before I get my chicks, my pull-up playpen is set up. And inside here, you'll see we've put pine shavings in here. We've probably put about 2 inches of pine shavings in here. I found that the chicks just like the pine shavings more than anything else. They like to dig through here. This kind of acts as a natural environment. I do not use aspen shavings are really good for baby chicks as well. They're a lot more expensive. I do not use hemp bedding for my baby chicks to start off with, probably until the second week. Hemp bedding has some little fibrous qualities in there and the chicks can eat those. So just be careful. Pine shavings, I definitely like the best to use for my bedding for my chicks. So as you can see, I got that up. We talked a little bit about radiant heat source. I've got in here, I've got a sweeter heater, I've got a Brinsea EcoGlow 20, and I have a heating pad. With baby chicks, it's really important that they can't maintain their own body heat. So their first week you get them home, you need to keep them at 95 degrees and reduce it 5 degrees every week after that. So the second week, keep them at 90 degrees. Third week, keep them at 85. Fourth week, 80, and then so on. Just keep reducing it by 5 degrees after that. My next tip I have for you is make sure they have clean water. So over here, I've got a hanging bucket, and as you can see, this has little nipples on here, and the chicks will tap that, and that's how they get their water. I've also got another water source in here, which I need to kind of change that water out today. You should really be providing fresh water for your chicks on a daily basis. If you've kept chicks before, you know that water gets really slimy if you leave it in there too long. Chicks can get stuff like coccidiosis, other issues, so make sure your chicks, this is one of the best ways to make sure you have healthy chicks, is make sure they have clean water. So I'll be replacing that after we're done with this video. I've got the feed in here. I've got New Country Organics starter feed. I'll do another video about the differences between starter feeds like medicated or organic. I've always used organic feed. I'm not against using medicated feed, it's just my choice. I've used New Country Organics for years. I've always had happy, healthy baby chicks from them. As you can see, they're pretty active. These guys are at least 3 or 4 days old. They're having a great time. If you have any other tips that you'd like to share about raising baby chicks, please leave them in the comments for me. Let me know which tip that you like the most. I'd love to hear from you. I just want to say thanks for watching.